Hello, today is International Press Freedom Day, a day when we remember particularly those who bring us the news, especially from areas of conflict, because it's a very dangerous business. Last year, 99 reporters died in the course of their duties. That's a rise of nearly 50% over 2022. And this is partly because of the war going on in Gaza, where it appears that the Israeli forces are targeting Palestinian journalists in particular, seemingly not wanting to allow the news of what's going on to be dispersed. And this, of course, is typical of what's happening in many countries where journalists are being harassed. In Iraq and Afghanistan, they're being kidnapped. In Russia, of course, expelled or imprisoned. Pakistan, reporters are being beaten. In Egypt, they're being arrested. And in countries all over the world where there is particularly an authoritarian regime, the desire to keep the news of what's really going on in countries away from the rest of the world leads reporters to be leading these quite dangerous lives. And it's not just authoritarian governments either. Just a couple of years ago, Dom Phillips and Bruno Pereira were compiling some reports about the way the Amazon rainforest is being diminished, and they were murdered by those whose interests were in making, in abusing the forest for their own financial gain. And so today I think I want to join with others all over the world in celebrating those whose use of such press freedom as remains and whose courage in continuing to report in countries where it's not recognised as being an important factor, to celebrate their courage and the fact that they bring us the news. Of course, this is partly because we need to know. It's part of our humanity. Of course, there were generations when nobody did know what was going on much beyond the distance that they could walk. But now we can. We have the possibilities of knowing, and therefore I think it's part of our humanity to know what's going on in other countries, even though sometimes we wish we didn't, and sometimes find it so unbearable we can't hear it. But whether it's on the television, radio, or in newspapers, we need to know that. But it's also that it's people, journalists like this, who hold countries and leadership to account. Who, because they're able to report what's going on, force governments either to defend or to stop what they're doing. And we need this kind of public recognition of the way of what's going on in countries all over the world. We don't want what is threatened and are becoming called zones of silence, where the clampdown on reporting has become so effective that we simply don't know what's going on. So today I want to remember the courage of our reporters, to realise that news reporting, whether it's on the television or in newspapers, really doesn't come cheap, and that we really shouldn't expect all our news to come to us without paying anything towards it. I mean, simply just buying a newspaper occasionally. But to recognise the need to support freedom of the press in that way, but also just to, every time we hear some news, be grateful for those who've had the courage to be in the place from which they can bring it when it is to our advantage, sometimes to our pain, to hear it.